This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. By now, you most likely have seen the headline of Meghan claiming that she is one of the most bullied people in the world. As I've recently stated in my previous videos, this is all by design. Many of you are probably sitting there like, why is it that Meghan is continued to be given opportunities to be seen as this champion and advocate against online bullying? It's because we all know it's really not about online bullying. This has always been about driving and pushing regulation to control the information in the online space. Meghan and Harry know that they can continue to keep pushing out these falsehoods and lies because it's all a part of this psychological warfare in this illegal military-grade censorship operation that they have been running not only on America, but the rest of the world. Meghan and Harry are going to continue to keep doing what they're doing until someone now from our government steps in to tell them to stop. And that's where we need to go. Sadly, the media here in the United States that Meghan and Harry pay, fund, control, whatever, will never go against Meghan and Harry. As much as they know that these two are the biggest liars, they know that this is part of the agenda that supports these globalists. They're all on board with pushing the agenda for these globalists as well as the current U.S. administration that's in place. If we go back to what Maria Ressa said during the Time 100 interview that she did with Prince Harry, she did explain that journalists used to be the gatekeepers of information, the gatekeepers of truth, and being the ones who decide what information the public gets to see. So if you notice, they're all on board with supporting the lies and propaganda that this agenda is pushing in order to curb speech, because then that takes out a whole bunch of us that these journalists and reporters have to compete with. They're going to push whatever narrative these globalists want because they want to be the ones that are considered to be the gatekeepers back again. The real regulation needs to happen on the media. Their gross negligence of pushing out lies harms the public. But, once you do that, they're going to scream, First Amendment, freedom of speech, we need to protect it. The one thing that I fully understand and see is that us YouTubers are a thorn in Meghan and Harry's side because they just want us to go away. And no matter how much they flood the internet with all their BS, we just won't forget and let it go. So this is why now I think it's a good time to start talking again about what Meghan and Harry did back in October of 2021. I think it's really important that we continue to make people aware of what they did, especially people in the United States government, and let them know that American civil rights, as well as others around the world, have been attacked as a result of this psychological warfare that was unleashed onto innocent people. So now when we go back to 2021 and look at this tweet that Christopher Boozy posted after he released his false report attacking or racially attacking innocent people, it says, if a relatively small group of predominantly middle-aged white women can coordinate a successful decentralized hate campaign with minimal effort, imagine what state actors with substantial funding can do. We don't have to imagine because this is what Boozy, Meghan, and Harry have been doing on a military-grade scale. Let's talk about the global and domestic terrorism that the Sussex Squad terrorist organization that is funded and supported by Harry and Meghan were doing. Take a listen to what Angry Tina from the Sussex Squad podcast had to say with how they were illegally mining data from Facebook using a third-party app and taking that information to turn around and weaponize it on innocent people or anyone who made a comment that they didn't like. The targeted demographic that these terrorists went after were senior citizens.
I want you, if you have Facebook, to go on Facebook and go watch the Deranged. A lot of these people are your memars, and they have, I am messing with them now. I'm just posting pictures of their grandkids to them and their daughters and sons just to mess with them. But it's hilarious. These people are crazy, and it's so much fun. Go on our Facebook page, Sussex Squad Podcast, Facebook, and watch them. They are mad, and it's amazing. I'm loving it because I'm letting them stay because we're collecting. What we do is that we let their comments stay for as long as possible. We collect as much information through a third-party software as possible, and the ones we can contact their family members, we do. All the ones we can contact their jobs, we do. because they're bullying and harassing people online, specifically us. And the ones that we can file police reports about, we do. So please go on there. Please go on Facebook and check them out. It is awesome. So it's for me, I'm just, and that's what happens. So that's why whenever we get overran by trolls, I laugh, because I'm like, first of all, now you've given me all of your personal information, because the easiest way to get people's personal information is off of Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
and literally, like, it's literally the easiest way to mine people's personal information. Because so many older people are on there, they're not very tech savvy, so they put all kinds of information about themselves, their grandkids, their son, where they went, where they retired from, where they live. Them there. The only thing I probably can't get off of Facebook is their social security number. But if I put enough information together, I can get it if I wanted to.
Now, what I see here is that the authorities, as well as people from Congress, need to be asking the questions of collusion between the social media companies and the Sussex Squad. There is evidence that Sarah Data and various others had personal relationships within these social media platforms. And that's how they were able to go after certain people, because they were getting information that most likely was a violation of privacy laws. That's the real investigation that needs to happen, because we know that these Sussex Squads, especially Christopher Boozy and Sarah Data, had been communicating with these platforms directly. So if there's anybody out there that's left and still decent from the FBI, that's where you need to go. From the very beginning, back in September of 2021, when I first started with Keep NYC Mega Trash Free, I declared that the Sussex Squad was a terrorist organization. One of the major reasons as to why I started on YouTube with Keep NYC Mega Trash Free was because of the rumor that Harry and Meghan were thinking about moving to New York. I knew Harry and Meghan had been funding and supporting this terrorist organization, and I didn't want this trash coming to New York City to radicalize the youth in this hate campaign that Harry and Meghan have been running on innocent people. It should be noted that Keep NYC Mega Trash Free was targeted by the Sussex Squad and got affected. So although it might have been seen as successful back in the day when nobody knew that there was collusion with these social media companies and people getting censored and shut down left and right, now this doesn't look so good for the dastardly duo, especially if someone launches an investigation, which I foresee, if we continue to keep talking about it, inevitable to happen. So let's take a look at some of this evidence from 2021, where it shows that Meghan was involved in supporting the hate group called the Sussex Squad. Meghan and Harry commissioned Black entrepreneur and CEO of Bot Sentinel to go ahead and do this attack report, in which the information gathered for the investigation came from this terrorist organization called the Sussex Squad. Let's begin with this tweet from October 18, 2021, that reveals one of the main Sussex Squad lieutenants communicating the squad's involvement with Sunshine Sachs. For those that don't know who Sunshine Sachs is, they were Meghan's PR firm at the time and was helping with Meghan's brand. Sunshine Sachs is known for their heavy alignment with many corrupted Democrats, such as Hillary Clinton, Bill de Blasio. Oh, and let's not forget they represented Harvey Weinstein. So on the same day that Christopher Boozy had announced, October 18, 2021, that he would be working on putting a report together on the anti-Meghan accounts on Twitter, you had the head lieutenant, Book Busy, send out this note about a task that the Sussex Squaddies were challenged to complete, which was to gather the data of accounts that didn't align with Meghan Markle, or they thought was not flattering of Meghan Markle enough to go ahead and be a part of this data dump or analysis that Christopher Boozy created and faked. So here you have is the confirmation on October 18th that this email was sent giving instructions on what the squaddies had to do, which was to gather this information and to help promote Bot Sentinel. Then you have the confirmation from another head lieutenant, Joe Diva Runner, praising the coordinated effort in this attack campaign against innocent people online, and confirms the payment that is coming from Montecito that they are going to receive for this excellent work of terror that they were doing. If I had to guess, the way to keep Meghan and Harry's hands clean in making it look like they didn't have any involvement with paying Christopher Boozy was to give money to the squad to then go ahead and donate it to Bot Sentinel, which is what I believe is how they did this. Rather than recreating the wheel on this terror that this group has unleashed onto the world and is continuing to unleash onto this world, Duchess of Narsussex did an excellent video today that does summarize succinctly how diabolical this group really is. Here is part of that video. I'll link today's video in my description box. I highly recommend you watch the full thing.
Christopher Boozy announces that there's going to be a Twitter investigation into Twitter accounts. Christopher Boozy, there is an ongoing coordinated smear campaign targeting Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, on Twitter. But what is interesting is it appears a group of private citizens decided to form their own group to counter the smear campaign. That would be the Sussex Squad, I suppose. Just because they're private citizens doesn't mean they're not privately funded. The fact private citizens are doing what Twitter should be doing is another example of why allowing social media platforms to police themselves isn't working. Over the weekend, we started using the Bot Sentinel classifier to identify the most toxic accounts in an effort to expose how the accounts are spreading Meghan Markle hate on Twitter. Stay tuned. A couple of journalists have reached out to me already, and one has provided me with information to help our investigation and research. This stuff is extremely vile by social media standards. Now, Christopher Boozy was supplied a list from the Sussex Squad. I'm sure he had his own list, but he was supplied a list from the Sussex Squad of who to go after. Now, we were all labeled as Meghan Markle hate accounts. No, I think it was more like accounts that Meghan Markle hates is who we were. Because they were hand-chosen. I mean, they were hand-chosen. Everybody knows that. I don't need to go over this story. So the Meghan Markle hate accounts are accounts that Meghan Markle hates. And so here's just a couple of tweets that Christopher Boozy had put up during all of this time. But I just wanted to, again, just set the tone for what was going on and everything. And they made race a huge part of it and portrayed us as the huge racist when in fact they're all the racist. Christopher Boozy, I really struck a nerve with the hate accounts. They hate it when you pull the hood off and expose them. Now, this was entirely an unfair thing to do because this digs deep into people's emotions through hundreds of years to do. But this is the route that, I mean, this is like a dog whistle to people. Disgusting. Christopher Boozy, so far each of the hate accounts we have been able to positively identify belong to middle-aged white women who previously and currently have financial hardships. Well, I was never sure what that had anything to do with. I'm sure that the narrative that they were trying to spin was that people were having financial difficulties, so they would be open to being paid by Prince William to go after Meghan. They still don't realize that I'm saving the best for last. Soon it's going to be harder to monetize their hatred. YouTube already hid dislikes, and monetizing hatred will be next to go. Let's see what happens when the YouTube income drives up. So in one tweet, he's talking about people having financial hardships. And then the next tweet, he's talking about taking away their money. All because they talk about Meghan. And so while all of this Twitter investigation is going on, that started on October 16th, in or around October 16th, October 17th. On October 21st, Meghan did something about, the Parental Care Act or whatever she was trying to do. And the most powerful women in the entire world, Hillary Clinton, Melinda French Gates, this group Occupy Democrats, Iona Presley, who is a politician, the most powerful women in the world are tweeting and congratulating Meghan Markle. Yet we are being investigated on Twitter. Talk about an intimidation tactic. This was, hindsight looking back, the intimidation that was used on us is earth-shattering, folks. We were being hunted and stalked and looked into, financial hardships, records. I mean, who knows what they had to do to get those. I had a small Twitter account, like 1,000 people, and then Meghan, the most powerful women in the world. So who's so dangerous? Who are the bullies?
Now, the Duchess of Narsussex is not overreacting or embellishing the story. They truly were telling people to go out and drag people. Here is a sample of how vile and nasty these online bullies were in instructing their audience to go do this to people.
Fucking day. You fucking whore. She is a fucking cunt. I hope honestly, she needs to fucking lose everything that she's worked on. I'm going to, guys, we need, as soon as she opens a fucking account, we have to go hard again. Like, I want this bitch fucking destroyed. I don't want to see her accounts. I don't want to see those fucking accounts I don't want them open. You better stay hidden. And by the way, she also have one of her friends. Her name is Laura Dave. Laura Dave, I think, is author. So author as in writing, the author of a book. Guys, you go on that fucking Instagram of that bitch as well and drag that bitch.
And she was the one that was bullied. Fuck you, Meghan. You and your dirtbag husband should be criminally prosecuted for this.
So now we have just one example out of the many. This Positively Meghan, My Lovely Sukwa. My lovely Sukwa ran a blog with a similar name. And now My Lovely Sukwa thanks this guy named Johnny Silvercloe. Hey, Johnny Silvercloe, I wanted to thank you for accepting my post. You made my messy post professional and made it readable. Thank you. She's talking about her blog post. Great, wonderful. But who is this Johnny Silvercloe? Well, we're going to take a look at Johnny Silvercloe, and this is a big sugar here. She still was. And she was targeting me. We'll get to that. Who is Johnny Silvercloe that's helping her with her blog posts? And I'm going to show you later on in this video what these blog posts were about. Well, here's Johnny Silvercloe, a terrorist, dressed up in a terrorist's outfit, helping this My Lovely Sukwa with Meghan's picture on it with her blog post about Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Johnny Silvercloe's thing on his Twitter: America, enjoy the police's monopoly of violence because they view it as a monopoly of their violence. Police seem to function at the behests of white irrational fears and concerns. Read Afrophobia. White people adore the police. So we have another racist here that is calling us racist. That's a terrorist. I mean, what other conclusion are you supposed to draw, folks? Helping a Meghan fan with her blog post about Catherine. These are the types of people, once you start digging into the Sussex Squad, there's the Sussex Squad on the surface. But then if you start digging into the Sussex Squad and their connections, it actually becomes quite frightening, as you can see. And this is just one example.
And the Duchess of Narsussex is correct. That is just one out of so many examples that we currently hold in our possession. So keep it up, Meghan and company. You picked on the wrong people to bully, because we can do this all day long, which I fully intend on doing, not only on YouTube, but also now on X, where you don't have that control. Stay tuned, folks. There is a lot more to come. Keep your eye on this channel. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And also keep your eye on Duchess of Narsussex, because she also has things to share that the madam thought was forgotten. Anyhow, what do you guys think? Definitely leave your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content, but until then, please be safe and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Such a fraud.